Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Hermitcraft. This episode is coming to you after Christmas, right? And I'm recording it before Christmas. And if you celebrate Christmas or not, I hope you've all had a fantastic, wonderful holiday season. Of course, 2020 has been a strange and difficult year for many of us, and I hope you've at least been able to have a good time with the family over this holiday season. And you know what? One thing that's been good about 2020 is Minecraft. I mean, every season of Hermitcraft seems to get better, and this year has been no exception, and I've enjoyed myself even though it's been a tough year in other measures. Anyway, the thing that I want to just say is that from this point onwards, the episodes of Hermitcraft, when they're coming out, I'm not going to have a schedule anymore. They're going to be more spaced out for a little while. You see, January and the Christmas season is kind of my time to make some changes and do some things outside of YouTube, and I'm going to be doing that. And so, yeah, just kind of expect a little less from me in the coming month. But anyway, over here we got some building materials that I've put together because we're going to start this episode off with a time lapse. And that will probably come to you as no surprise because I love putting music to the replay mod and seeing us build from the third person perspective. And I feel like I'm going to shift towards building a little bit more. In the beginning of the video, we flew past Corrales' base over here, which he's expanding into this Achacho area. I've been really inspired by these builds, and I feel like I might try and do something myself over on this side in the desert that complements what he's doing. But we got a mega build here that I haven't touched in a while, and I really want to crack on with this. This is where we're going to be building today and introducing those blocks that I showed you a moment ago. But if we fly on into the inside of this place, we will encounter no mobs whatsoever down here because I have managed to light up this staircase, which was one spot that they could spawn. There is now these wall blocks with glowstone hidden behind them because that actually lets light through. Even though it kind of looks like a full block, it lets the light come through. And this place is all finished and sealed off all the way down to the end. And I also happened to discover whilst working on that I hadn't actually fired up all of the potion factories just yet. There were two that were missing, and I think it's down here, right? Look at that. Sugar was an ingredient I had yet to include. And so now down here in our cryptic corridor, we have the speed potion and we have the slowness potion. And that is actually every single type of potion brewed inside of here. Well, okay then, it is time to focus on the front of this build. This, my friends, is about to receive a big transformation. Well, there it is, my friends. Pretty spectacular, right? I absolutely love this color phase over here. I spent a long time figuring that out. It's actually going to be used again later on for another part of this build too. But behind me on these big bland walls... Oh, look at that. Pro skills. We are going to introduce yet another block to the build palette. And that, my friends, is going to be Lapis Blocks. But as you can see right here, this is all the Lapis I got. This is all the ore. I think this is going to be enough to make some Lapis Blocks. And I think we need about a stack. And you get a lot from breaking this stuff, right? Look at that. Yeah, this is going to be a piece of cake. Well, it looks like we've got some lapis here to spare, and one of the things I always like to do is to hold on to ore blocks in case you ever want to use them decoratively. However, this season, you know, the build themes we're doing here, I don't think that's going to be the case. This really is a gorgeous building block. I love the texture of it. I hardly ever use lapis as a building block, right? Let's turn around, big reveal. Ah, look at that. Do you see how the theme is coming together here? This represents blaze powder, right? Or the colours of the blaze, and water on the side. It's all oriented around the potions. And what I want to do now is bring you to my creative world, an old backup of Hermitcraft, where I have been designing this, because I think I'm going to break away from what you see next. Continuing with the theme of potions, I've introduced nether bricks around the back here, and this is where the rest of the build becomes kind of bland and flat and just a big old shape, which would take a lot of time to build up. I was still messing around with the idea of introducing water, and over the back here, yeah, it doesn't look that great, it's just kind of massive. So I will be keeping a backup of this, of course, but I think now what I want to do is get the current world that we've got into this world so I can take things in a different direction from this point onwards. And at some point, this is going to include a giant blaze. You see, I made this with some time that I had. I also even did a bunch of like circles and estimations for roughly where each of these rods would appear around an actual blaze, which ends up making it really kind of accurate in a way. And so yeah, I'd like to incorporate this somewhere inside of our build. But I think we are done with exteriors for today. I would now like to head down into the basement and make this area more presentable for the other hermits. But I think I'm done with exteriors for today, and I would like to focus on interiors. We of course got a gorgeous theme going on, but down here in the basement, we really need to sort this out, and I'm not sure if I want to extend the same theme or come up with something else, but right now, we're going to get this space down here sorted out. Well, okay then, shall we go down and see what I've done? It's very much a continuation of what we got above, but I've introduced a new block, and I love how moody this room is. The lighting in here is perfect. I've actually moved it so it's below the chest. You can't even see the edge of it anymore. Yeah, I was going to remark on how I've used a redstone lamp because it's closer to this colour than the edge of a sea lantern is, but you can't even see that anymore. And I guess the only anomaly here, right, is these blocks, which I can actually rip out the front ones. The other ones you got to be more careful with as there's redstone around, so might make some final touches there as well. I also just wanted to comment quickly on the wood that we've used here. This is the crimson wood, and notice how it's got a bit of an odd pattern because the rotation changes. Aha, so here in a creative world, I've been taking a closer look at the pattern and seeing where the different edges line up with the others. And I was reminded of glazed terracotta, and therefore I wanted to make a pattern out of this where all of the corners would sort of meet up at a particular point. But what I've learned is that there's actually only 3 rotations possible. So, do you see it? We can almost make a circle in the very middle of this, and I love how this texture is animated. But unfortunately, there's only 3 planes in which you can place this block, and it's based on what side of the block you place it on. So, when I click here, I will get the same pattern as clicking there, or the same rotation of pattern. And so I thought I would use a debug stick, but if you look at the text on the screen, it says axis, and there's only 3 of them to rotate on. You know, I know this isn't terribly interesting, but it's just a Minecraft quirk that I wanted to comment on. Anyway, getting back to the build here, thought I'd try lapis. Totally doesn't work though, right? I think we're just gonna go with blackstone, and that'll be the finishing touch. And as well as dropping in an ender chest, we've also got signs here as well that are rather important. Do not use with harming pots or healing pots. You can't actually extend the duration of those, and chucking them into this system is probably going to break it. Same goes for glowstone as well. These ones don't have a level 2, so now it should be really clear what type of potions you can use down here. And I guess up the top here, we should also try and find a easier way to let you know what's inside of here. It's probably just going to end up being signs, right? So, having brainstormed this for a fair bit, we could have done invisible item frames, floating items, or potions, but really what we want is the words spelled out and to be able to read them from a distance, which you can kind of do here. It's a shame that the corridor is a bit narrow. Anyway, in my inventory you will see that we have a bunch of these name tags, and I brought these from Grian's barge. He sells them on the cheap. So if we come down here, what we got to do is give it its name tag, and then we've also got to make this invisible. So stand visible, no. See, now it looks great, but there is a problem. When I right click here, you know, the armor stand is in the way. It's not the biggest deal, but I could also move it back in that direction a tiny bit. And there we go. Problem is, now more of it is going to be cut off and behind the block, but you know, you can read it, especially with the zoom key. Yeah, and I think that's probably worth doing, right? Just moving them all back a little bit so you can just open it without having to think about it. So, for visiting Hermits, the interiors are now done. And when you come down here, this ain't so bad. I think it helps that you can quite easily read the ones on this side. And if you don't see the ones that you want, it's a bit of a blur in that direction, but you can start walking and eventually pick out the potion you're looking for. Anyways, with this stunning building taken care of for this part of the episode, we have been summoned over to HEP headquarters for a meeting.
Carlos, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm F5ing this. Okay, sorry.
Oh, guys, you're like...
Should we all like F5 it? We've all just got our backs to each other.
Okay.
There we go.
It's
Perfect.
the antisocial meeting.
Nah. All right.
I have a tree behind me.
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Well, Het members, we may not have won in the end, but we are getting the shopping district back in grass. So secretly, we win, right?
That's how I feel. Like, all we ever wanted was grass everywhere. And
Yeah.
that's what we're going to get, you know?
Yeah.
Who's the real
Yeah,
winner
we
here?
win.
Real
Pretty
winner's
much
the grass, to be honest. It's coming back with a vengeance, Bruce Willis style. It's going to be amazing.
The environment has won this war. I think it's safe to say.
It has. Well, thank you for the big turnout here. And guys, all the games were incredible. We put in a good effort, and yeah, it's all we could have done. And as I said, grass won in the end. So we need to fulfill our end of the bargain in the bets that we repair the shopping district. We need to lamify our building here.
Yeah. I mean, this is actually
I
pretty
vote
cool.
to keep the llama myself. I think it's cute and
I think-
adorable, but
Yeah,
it is a
with
prank.
llamas is always better than without llamas, for sure.
That's true. It does have a blowhole, which is convenient.
Oops.
Now it has double blowholes. It's like a whale.
Pretty
There
cool.
we go.
That's pretty cool. Let me get out and see.
I love it. I think it's
Yeah.
beautiful.
You can't love it. It's not fitting.
Something I'd like to do to show the all of the hermits getting back together is that we need to put all the hermits' faces on Mount Scar here and create Mount Hermit here. How about that? We put everyone's up here. I could do it, or everyone can do it. Whoever wants to do it. If they don't want to do it, I can do it. Whatever.
Is there enough room for all the faces? There's a lot of hermits.
I think we'd have to start stacking.
It's like we need a new mountain, you know?
No.
Scar can fix that.
You can always extend it out. Right?
Scar, build us
Just
a
go
mountain
high.
already.
Yeah, another one. Yeah.
Just another one.
As long as it's not an island, I'm totally good. I'm perfectly fine. But yeah, we start adding more hermits to the Mount Scar. I think it'd be pretty funny if everyone's kind of stacked up on top of each other. And yeah, so I think that'll be pretty cool. Xisuma, you had some ideas for the shopping district.
Yeah, I just want to go around and tidy things up. Like, I felt this way before there was mycelium everywhere, but, you know, when you walk around, there's just some people have put a shop here, a shop there, there aren't some tidy edges, so I kind of want to go around and, you know, maybe where the terracotta area is, just have terracotta tying these shops together. Where there's sand in Beef's area, you know, just like really make everything fit together, make things cohesive. That's the word I'm looking for. So I kind of
you're
want to be like the
official
renovator.
gardener of the town hall. You're the gardener.
The gardener, that will work just fine. I'll be the gardener. So you've heard it, my friends. I'm going to be the gardener of the shopping district. In fact, I'm even going to get my own little room in town hall behind us as well. And what my job will entail is perfect for me, because whenever I go around and I spot little things that aren't quite cohesive, I always wish to be able to change them. And I've actually found an example right here. Like, there's a bit of grass going on, and that would probably look better if it was just moon biome, all the way over to the edge here. So I will go around just tidying up little spaces, linking things together, looking for blocks that are missing, making small adjustments to the place. And overall, it'll all come together to make it look beautiful, right? I mean, not that it's not beautiful already. There's plenty of other stuff doing that. But yeah, just tidying up all the rough edges is the general idea. And I'll probably do that on my live streams. That's what I'm thinking. In the new year, I'll spend time every live stream coming over here and tidying things up. But as I fly around, you can see that all the mycelium has been removed and replaced with grass. So the area is back to normal, and I can't take any credit for this. It was Scar, Cub, and Corrales. They went round after the games were over and actually transformed the entire place back from mycelium to grass. And if I'm to have an office in this space, where is it going to go? All the spots up the top here are actually taken at the moment, so I kind of need to find a place to build my own room, right? And you know what? I think this could be the spot right here. Currently home to the stick, that can get moved. But if we just dig through here, you'll see that it's the edge of the building, so that might be a problem. However, there is a little bit of space right here, and the fact that there's so much greenery to me makes me think we could open up this wall and attach a little greenhouse on the side, which would just be perfect for this gardener. Although I'm sort of not doing strictly gardening stuff, right? But it'll definitely fall under that banner. Whenever there's like spaces of green grass that's just empty, we can do stuff like this. Throw bamboos, rock formations, leaves and lighting into it. It is going to be perfect for me. And I think right here, adding a little greenhouse off the side of this building will just be wonderful. And while I'm working something out over here, I have some footage to show you I recorded earlier from our rabbit farm, which of course still needs fixing. We need a solution for it. And I had an experiment I wanted to try. So my friends, we are back over here at the rabbit farm. I've done an overnight session of breeding. I went through 2 shulker boxes worth of carrots. And the reason that we've done this is because I've made a modification. I was speaking to a friend who was explaining the difference between lazy chunks and unloaded chunks. And so down the end here, I've moved the area where the rabbits collect forward by a whole chunk. And it looks like we might have the same problem again, because we've got clearly the remains of some rabbits, but we seem to have a lot more of the baby rabbits that need to grow up. So we're going to be able to get rabbit's feet from this, but we still have this problem. How many of these drops did we get as well? Not a lot. Oh yeah, and now they're trying to get away from me. So coming back after 20 minutes AFK, the most predictable thing ever happens. A creeper gets me right outside of my AFK hole. And now all my rabbits are falling down. Oh my days, and now they're all on the loose. And here come the phantoms! Oh, it just gets worse! Well, we got about less than half as many as we had here before. These experiments are not going well, are they? And do you know what else wasn't going very well? My luck. I tell you what happened. I ran out of rockets and needed carrots, so I had to fly very carefully all the way back down this long tunnel just to get some carrots, come all the way back again and clean up the rabbits that escaped. And during that process, I was also commenting on how maybe we don't need to send them to unloaded chunks. We did that with the Wandering Trader so that they wouldn't despawn when loaded. We could actually leave the rabbits loaded, and the idea would be that the amount of entities could decrease the server performance, but as of late, with it being the holiday season, it's been relatively quiet for a few days. So if I get the opportunity to test again, I will probably just keep them in a similar area to where the farm itself is, and then they can be loaded the entire time. But from that, we only got 21 rabbit's feet, so all in all, that ended up being pretty terrible. Well then, let's get back to the greenhouse. I have been doing a little bit of building, and we've got something sticking out over the edge here that looks really good. I've got to say, it's a nice little touch, and I can see one change that I want to make when we look at it from the outside. The back of the building is a little bit flat. What I'm going to do is extend the wall here at the bottom and just pull out the glass by 1 block. On this side, you can see we went pretty close to where there was a tree, but it actually seems to be fine being right nestled next to it, and obviously with this being a greenhouse, that works just fine. So we're going to extend the glass out the back here a little bit. I'm going to focus on the exteriors, putting in some vines and bushes out the back here, and then we'll switch to the interiors. So up above the red zone shop, there is a beautiful little spot to have a gander over there at the greenhouse. It looks fantastic. Some minor modifications, some plants and greenery, vines, and all of that really just makes it pop, especially from a distance. Like, I love how it looks. It's clearly a greenhouse. And now we'll turn our attention to the inside of this place. And I am a happy bee because this, look at it, it turned out great. We got ourselves a little office with some storage right here. I've got my handy gardening tools. You can see I've kind of made an office feeling spot for me right here. I need my desk to do my work at, take my notes and all of that. And then we got some plants growing inside of here. Composting, a cauldron with water, and some lighting hanging from the ceiling. Oh, it turned out real great, this. I do have one query. Do you think that the glass is maybe a little too bright with it being white? I was just looking at the barge and noticing that they're kind of similar in shape in a way, and maybe changing it to grey would make it more subtle. Let me know what you think. We can make a change if it's necessary. Anyways, we've got to head back to the base as I have something sort of interesting to show you. And it relates to andesite, which I've been building with a lot lately for the potion factory. And whenever I mention this, someone always points out that you can craft andesite, and I always forget to investigate. And I was hanging out with Keralis and Cubfan and Scar last night, and Keralis was asking if I had any more andesite. Unfortunately, I've only got one box left, and I'm going to need that for the factory. However, I looked up the recipe, and it's diorite that you mix with, and this one is obviously not as popular a building block. And yeah, I don't know why. I've never thought of putting those two together before. I hardly ever build with diorite. Look at this, my inventory is too full for crafting right now. Oh yeah, look, we're going to get double the amount. Or should I say the same amount, right? What I mean to say is a full shulker box of cobble and a full shulker box of diorite gets you 2 full shulker boxes. And I said to Keralis I'll give you 1, but I'm going to give him 2. And I've also got a couple of boxes of sandstone as well. You see Keralis is expanding out. You can see where he's used some andesite here and sandstone. And so I just want to help him with his building expansion that he's doing over here. Aha, he is in the fire station where he's built a massive storage system. I don't think I've actually shown you all of this on camera. I came over here to help him out at one point in time. Who's shooting at me? It's these guys. They share a boat. Also, look at the back of this fire truck. That is just amazing detail right there. And here he is. Let's plop him down for Keralis. So this is his fire station where there is an amazing item sorting system. And, you know, shulker boxes for decoration. This project is amazing. And so will this one over here be as well. We're going to take this in a new direction from what I showed you earlier. I'm going to be working on that design and all sorts of other stuff in between episodes. You know how it goes. This is the end of this one. If you've enjoyed it, be sure to leave a like. As always, thanks for the support. And I'll see you soon with another episode of Hermitcraft. Bye-bye.